Games, and more games. We got a lot of announcements, so let's talk about it. Yesterday was the PlayStation State of Play, and I thought it was a good showcase. I thought it was a good showcase with lots of games that were shown off, lots of games that I'm excited to eventually jump into and play. It was an hour long. It was a relatively long one. Pacing was decent. One of the things I would say, my biggest complaint about the showcase itself, was we saw a lot of games that we have already seen before. I mean, how many times do we need to see 007 First Light before it comes out? Although the game looks really cool. Didn't need to see that one again. Didn't really need to see Pragmata anymore, which I can't wait for. That game was up there on my most anticipated list after playing the demo, but there's a demo out there. Seen that game a ton of times. Clearly, they just wanted to get more airwaves for it. But aside from the stuff that we've already seen, and I would say somewhat of an underwhelming last announcement of the show, depending, I guess, on how you look at it, it was a good showcase. One of the better state of plays that we have had in a long time in terms of a slate of stuff to be able to play. Like, I did enjoy the majority of this show. PlayStation does a great job at their states of play of just focusing on making you think every game is coming out for PlayStation and that it's an exclusive, because as we know, Money had a lot of third-party stuff and they get a lot of the timed exclusive games. Although that is dwindling down as you're seeing a lot more publishers stray away from that. There's always the question after the showcase ends, what games are coming everywhere? What games are coming to Xbox, PC? If you don't want to play on PlayStation, can you play a lot of these games? And the thing about the state of plays is the majority of the show are multi-platform games that you're going to be able to play on whatever platform you are on. So, well, let's take a look at all of the games that were announced that you can play on PC or Xbox if you do not have a PlayStation. We'll start off here with the first one, Kena Scars of Kosmora. This is the sequel to the first Kena game, and I will say the first Kena game I never played, looks phenomenal. This one looks just better in basically every single way. Bigger, more graphically stunning, although the first one was very beautiful looking. It looks kind of a little bit more mature. Kena seems older in this one. There's just a lot in this game that I cannot wait to eventually jump into and play based off of what we have seen here. Third person action game. I haven't played the first one. I do want to eventually play the first one. I know it is out there now on Xbox and PC, and I think I will get into it now after seeing this trailer. It did kind of trigger me to want to go back and try it out. But I think the combat, the environments, and everything from this game looks absolutely phenomenal. So it's a new Kena, and it's from a smaller studio, and they're bringing this over to PlayStation 5 and PC at launch. And I'm sure in the future you'll eventually end up seeing this on Xbox. As I said, the first one is there, so that was a cool one that they did start off with. I'm actually somewhat surprised. Like, you can see here some of the open world stuff. Like, it looks like it is a big jump forward in terms of the scope of the game itself. But I'm somewhat surprised that they are making a second one, because I wasn't sure how good the first one did sell. I wasn't sure if it was a big IP or if that was just a smaller game that they were going to try out, and if it didn't sell enough, it was done. But obviously it made its money and it was successful enough to get another funding, and they're working with PlayStation Studios here, and they're giving us a second game. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, coming to PC. So this one's already out there on PC now. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, you're going to be able to go and check this one out. And it is coming here on March 19th. So they say here, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is coming to Steam and PC on March 19th, just a few weeks from now. So in March actually had a bunch of games within their actual announcement. So we're really getting a nice picture here as to how this year is going to be shaping up. There's a bunch of games that actually were announced for 2026 launching this year in this state of play. It's an insane year of video games. Last year was insane. I feel like we are going to surpass last year by an actual big margin. A lot of that's going to come because of the stuff that Xbox is putting out from their first party perspective, but other than that, third parties are just going to be insane. I mean, you're getting GTA 6 this year. I mean, that's going to top off everything as well. You got 4 Loop here. We got some new gameplay. Looks okay. I don't know how much I'm into this one. It did stutter and stuff on the trailer itself. It definitely looks like this one needs to stay in the oven for relatively bit longer here from what we saw from Bad Robot games. But yeah, 4 Loop here. First person, third person, and Yeah, it looks all right. It's a co-op game and stuff, but we'll see how this does do, because as we do know right now, multiplayer games are just not faring very well. We just had Highguard lay off basically their entire staff, a game that was the last game announced at the Game Awards, which you think would be a highlight, but you can see some of the frame rate stutters and stuff. So I feel like this one needs to be cooking a little bit longer before they do end up releasing, but it is a sci-fi co-op shooter in which you and your friends square off against an alien invasion. Yeah, I probably will skip this one. Not too interested in this one. Resident Evil Requiem. I mean, we got another Resident Evil trailer. So Capcom came with games that we've seen so many times, which is, I love Capcom. I think they're the best, one of the best, if not the best right now in the game in terms of quality releases every single time they put a game out. But I don't really need to see any more. I just want to play the games at this point. Obviously, Resident Evil Requiem comes out on February 27th, which is just around the corner. And of course, you can play that one anywhere. Every game I'm talking about right now on this list is games that you can play on multiple platforms. Now, this one was amazing. I think this is a highlight for the show for me. It's not my favorite thing that was shown off. It's up there. I think there's one other game that surpassed it for me personally, but this is up there. And this is Control Resonant. This is an open world. Like, this is, I think, a bigger scope than anything we've really seen from Remedy. But open world action RPG. It's a sequel to Control. It looks so good. The way that you can manipulate the world kind of gives me like some Gravity Rush manipulation feels in it as you're running through, taking on these enemies. Game looks amazing. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the year, just from what we've seen here from Control Resonant so far. So very excited about this. Go check out the full trailer if you are interested in that one. They do say here, they don't give us a release date, but it's coming obviously the Series XS, PC, and PS5 later in 2026. This could be an end of the year announcement. And you really have to ask yourself, with all of these massive games dropping, like, I think that is a big game. Where are they going to slate in here? Because you still have that elephant in the room on November 19th where all these publishers are just staying away from. How are they going to release around Grand Theft Auto 6? I think there's one game that will not have a huge issue releasing in the same time frame as Grand Theft Auto 6, and that will be the upcoming Call of Duty, just because of how big that game is. I don't think it's going to get destroyed in sales because of Grand Theft Auto 6, but basically everything else within like the week or 2 weeks of launch period of GTA 6 is going to be very hard, and we'll see where they do all slate in. We got another announcement here for Beast of Reincarnation, which we know was at the Developer Direct, but we got a release date now. It's coming to Game Pass, but it is coming here on August 4th, 2026. It is coming to Game Pass as well. This game looks phenomenal. Star Wars Galactic Racer. You can play it everywhere. Later in 2026. I played the first Star Wars Racer, not on N64. I played it on PC, and it's such a core gaming memory of mine playing through the first Star Wars Pod Racer game. Like, it was so fun. And back then, being able to actually watch the movie and then get that in the video game form was just out of this world. And now this looks amazing. I can't wait for this one. Graphically, it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun, fast paced. It seems like they did a really good job of recreating the pod racing scene and stuff here. So I'm really excited about Pod Racer or Galactic Racer. I think this is going to be an extremely fun game that maybe flies under the radar for a lot of people. Maybe if you're not into racing games, or maybe when it releases, there's so much other stuff around it. This will be one of those ones that flies under the radar, is extremely fun, and a lot of people will be talking about it. That's my prediction when it comes to Galactic Racer. But we got another gameplay trailer. Game looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, I can't wait to eventually jump into that one. This is huge for the Xbox specifically. The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. We are finally getting Metal Gear Solid 4 away from the PlayStation 3, something people have been asking for a very long time. Now, I played it back on the PS3. It was one of those games that I specifically wanted a PS3 for, and I enjoyed it. I kind of forget some of it at this point, but I'm going to be picking up this collection. I have the first collection. I have basically all of the Metal Gear collections across generations. Like, I have a 360 one, I have the GameCube one, and they've released so many. When you think back to it, they've released a bunch of Metal Gear collections, and I think I have most of them. I'm going to add this one to my collection as well. The Master Collection Volume 2. The big announcement here, of course, is MGS4. Finally away from the grips of PS3. All those years, all that time we heard that I could never get out of there. It was really hard, all of that. Well, here we go. It's going to be available everywhere. So it has that. And then it also has Guns of the Patriots, I believe, in the collection itself, the PSP game, which is pretty cool. It's they say here this is the second of the collection. So this one only has 2 games. I forget how many were in the first collection. No, sorry, Peace Walker HD remaster, not Guns of the Patriot is Metal Gear Solid 4, but Peace Walker here as well within the collection. So yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna pick this up eventually. I didn't get it right away the first volume. I'll wait till that goes on sale. Same with this one. But yeah, I like the fact that we are finally getting Metal Gear Solid 4 out of the grips of the PlayStation 3. Bungie, they announced there's going to be a server slam beta. So on February 26th to March 2nd, you can actually test the game out and try it out, see if you like it, coming up for everything. What I find hilarious about this announcement is that this is a PlayStation published game. They're releasing it everywhere. Yet they still, even though I get it's in the state of play, they still won't say that it is also available on Xbox on March 5th. This is a first-party PlayStation game that they're publishing everywhere, of course. But they, on their own state of play, which you would have people from Xbox watching and wondering if they can play it on Xbox, they did not mention that you could actually play it on Xbox, which is kind of funny. Because that one, I don't think it would be a big deal at all to put the Xbox logo there. They decided not to do that. But yeah, you can play that one anywhere. They showed off First Light. Again, it looks cool. I'm excited about that. And then Marvel Token. This one's going to be available on PC. They gave us the first roster team, which is going to be X-Men. So game is going to be a really good fighting game. It looks like it's a ton of fun. But here is the roster. There's Wolverine, Magic, Danger, and Storm was the first roster that they did show off. So if you're into these types of fighting games, this really reminds me of Dragon Ball Fighters. I feel like it's going to play very, very similar. Graphically looks similar as well. And if you like Marvel characters, this is going to be the game for you to jump into this year. It looks really good. I'll be playing this game for sure. But yeah, we have the first batch of characters. And there will be more announcements for characters and teams for Marvel Token. Legacy of Kain, Ascendance, and Defiance Remastered. Coming to Xbox, Switch, Switch 2, PC, PS5. And this is coming out on March 3rd. So again, another game that's coming out very, very soon that you're going to be able to jump into and play. That's one of the things I will say I did like about this showcase was that they gave us games here to play in the next few weeks. And this is cool. This is a retro, side-scrolling, action platformer. I mean, it looks really, really cool. I like these styles of graphics. I like these old styles of games. I've been playing a lot of them recently. They've jumped up on my list of stuff because if I want to finish games in a timely manner, I find I can get through these. This looks super cool. So Legacy of Kain, Ascendance. I will be checking that one out. Absolutely. John Wick, the new untitled John Wick game. This is just cinematic trailer coming out everywhere. We don't know when that's coming up. Yako Shinobi Ops. This is a 4-player co-op game coming to PS5 and PC in 2027. Don't know too much about this one. It's a stealth ninja game. It looks all right. I don't know how much. I don't think I was into this one very much when I was watching the actual state of play, but it looks cool. Stealth ninja game probably will have its niche crowd with it. You get some like Metal Gear vibes there, crawling around. And yeah, if you like Shinobis, you like those types of games, that'll be one for you. Crimson Moon coming to PS5 and PC. Xbox availability, they say here, is unclear. And usually when that happens, it means that an announcement potentially for Xbox is going to be coming down the line later. Don't know exactly if that will happen or not, but this is third-person RPG style of game. Gives you like a Souls feel to it as well. You can see here just what it is going for. It looks like an older game in terms of graphics and stuff, so it looks cool. It looks all right. Kind of reminds me of Maximo a little bit from the PS2 era. Just in the way with the enemies and stuff. Yeah, it looks all right. That one is coming out here. I don't believe we got a release date or anything for that. You got Neva is getting a prologue DLC. Now, this is the game that I think topped it off for me out of all of them. And this is Castlevania Belmont's Curse, coming out in 2026, PS5, PC. It says Xbox it's coming to Xbox or not is unknown, but I feel like this one is going to be coming to Xbox, so we'll see. I could be wrong if it's not, but it would be weird if this one didn't. Konami had a huge section in this showcase where they showed off a bunch of stuff. To me, this is up there for my favorite game of the showcase, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Evil Empire, the ones that they worked with, what was the game? Dead Cells, and they had the Dead Cells DLC. It's the same developer. I mean, that game's on Xbox, so I don't see why this wouldn't be here. I feel like there's probably some sort of thing where they can't announce it for Xbox for a little while, but then the announcement will come, but we'll see. Either way, game looks really good. I love the Castlevania series. I love the Castlevania games. This looks like it's going to be another great entry into the overall series. To me, this was my favorite game that they did show off at this entire showcase. And I think for a lot of people as well, like that was a pretty big moment seeing a brand new Castlevania come. Graphically looks awesome. Like you look at this boss battle, it just looks so good. I'm excited very, very much for this. We're going to be getting this year. Another game launches in 2026. So I thought it was a good showcase overall. Those are the games right now that we know that are multi-platform. Some of them unknown about Xbox. Well, I'm sure what usually happens is that a day later or something, there's some sort of embargo as when you can announce it from the other platforms, and Xbox usually puts out trailers for the games that are coming over there. So we will see that as well. But I thought overall was a good showcase. One of the things I will say though, is PlayStation with their showcases, state of plays, whatever, they have very much conditioned gamers, PlayStation fans, and everyone watching to not expect very much from their first party, because there really wasn't anything from their first parties there. There were, at the end of the showcase, there was two big announcements that they did have. One is exciting, but at this point, I'm not that excited for it because it's so far away. You can tell they announced God of War trilogy remake, and I like the first three God of Wars better than the actual newer ones. So that to me is exciting. I will absolutely pick that game up and play it. But they say it's very early on in development. So you could tell that was just something out there because they don't really have anything else. So they got to get people hyped for a game that's going to be coming down years and years down the road. And then they finished it off with another God of War game. And this is the one that we talked about yesterday, where there were rumors that potentially it was going to be released on Xbox. And to be honest, I could see this still coming at some point in the future. Just because of the style of game it is, I don't think it's going to sell great or anything on PlayStation, and they may want to increase their margins on it. But this was God of War Sons of Sparta. This is the 2.5D Metroidvania God of War game. And Sony Interactive Entertainment, Santa Monica Studios, and with this studio here, Mega Cat Studios, who is probably doing the majority of the development on this. But they showed it off and it's available right now, which is cool. It's a shadow drop. That's one thing I will say about that. This announcement I like is that it is a shadow drop. But I will say, I think I will end up trying and playing this game. It does look decent. So a lot of people were talking the art. They didn't really like it. I actually think it looks, the more that I watch it and I see like the effects and everything, I think it looks okay. I think it looks decent. Like it looks like it would be a fun Metroidvania game to play in the God of War world. And I'm sure the combat is going to feel great. But this was their big end of the showcase announcement. Now, for someone like me who does like these styles of games, yeah, I'll check this out. I think it's pretty cool, but I think it'll be a pretty underwhelming announcement for a lot of people for it to end off a showcase because, like I said, PlayStation has really conditioned their fans right now that when they have these states of play, there's really not much from their first parties. They kept so much out of it. And maybe it's because they're waiting for a showcase later on in the year where they're going to show off like Wolverine and a bunch of other big games that are being developed by their first party studios. Or maybe it's because they really are behind in their output. I mean, that's what we've seen over the last number of years. When I watch a state of play, at this point, I go into it now and I'm not even really expecting any major announcements from PlayStation themselves. I'm mainly expecting big third-party titles, multi-platform titles, and then, of course, the titles that are developed by third parties that are only on PS5 and PC because of the exclusivity stuff that they sign these deals for, or at least timed exclusivity. So that is the interesting thing. You compare that to the Xbox showcase. Like, it is absolutely night and day in terms of the games that are being produced from the Xbox studios that are coming out versus PlayStation, where it's not much, but the showcase was still good because of all of the titles they were able to get from everybody else within the state of play. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this. I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.